All right, welcome back to Boring Reviews. WILTY here.
Apparently, Gene Cheater over here.
You should have said, won't he here?
Oh.
It's a dream situation. So in my dreams, not on a daily basis, not on a weekly basis, but every once in a while, when she's in my dream, 90% of that time, she is so mean. She is cheating on me. She is just like, she treats me probably the way I deserve to be treated, to be honest with you. But and I don't know what it is. I don't have subconscious evil thoughts about her.
Maybe
I don't hate her. I know people out there like, oh yeah, sure. I don't know what it is, but she is, maybe it's just my insecurities and my biggest fear of my wife hating my guts. That's probably what it is.
I was going to say that, or like, you think I'm going to cheat on you. Oh, my heart.
I don't lose sleep over it. Unless I'm sleeping about it. And dreaming about it, I mean. So, sorry, I'm finishing a lifesaver. Very rude, I know.
We're so rude. Oh, gosh.
We're checking out another one of This Is My, I think his name's Greg. Yeah, featuring Greg. I always say that and it's right there. And this involves Lee Mack, Claire Balding. Ooh, she's my last name nowadays. And Rob Delaney. And we're trying to figure out who this person is. We usually do like This Is Mine and a regular one, but we've been on a run of this and we're going to keep with it going. We hope you enjoy it. She's really struggling there. If you like our reaction anyway, please don't forget to
like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you can be aware of our next uploaded videos. Well, who wore these last? You or Gabe?
Gabriel.
Yeah, so you had to adjust them.
Gabriel.
And then it's like bothering my head for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't think he's washed his head in quite some time.
Top of my head is like sore. Maybe I got hit.
Top of your head, but I say top of the morning. Here we go.
Please welcome this week's special guest, Greg.
This is Greg. Greg is my coworker who I accidentally had fired due to misunderstanding what he was saying to another teacher. I thought he was getting high in the classroom, but
it's going too long. You're going too long. You got to like introduce it and then let them ask you questions later.
I'm just saying it all because there's nobody going to ask me questions. Who's Greg to you, Nick?
I'm not going to do it all. I'm just going to say this is Greg. And him and I both got in trouble for stealing something, and I blamed it on him, and I haven't seen him since.
Oh, that's a good one.
So,
what'd you steal?
Claire, what is Greg to you?
Your tampon.
This is Greg, and he is the RSPCA officer who came to my aid when a squirrel climbed into my handbag and wouldn't get out.
Rob Delaney, how do you know Greg?
Well, this is Greg, and we once stayed up all night together, holding on to a fence when a game of who can hold on to the fence the longest got out of hand.
Lee, what's your relationship with Greg?
This is Greg. I was so nervous about appearing on TV for the first time that I made him come with me and pretend we were a double act.
David's team,
no, we've not reacted to this one yet.
So, Claire, where were you when the squirrel jumped into your handbag?
I was filming in Devon for Country File, and I was doing one of those links, you know, when you walk along the cliff top, essentially, and I'd left my bag under a tree, and sometimes there are little sweeties left in it, and I assume that is why the squirrel got in it.
Yeah.
You know when you get those selection chocolates and there's some, the topics that nobody likes? I think I'd left, except unless you're a squirrel.
Yeah.
In which case,
Well, it's the one thing they say about squirrels, they're not fussy when it comes to Quality Street. So as you approached the bag, what did you see? How were you alerted to
it was moving.
And what did you do then? Did you continue to approach?
Yeah, I thought there's something in my bag, and then when I got close, I thought it'll jump out because I'm near to it, but it wouldn't.
Yeah. So you're approaching the bag, Claire. It's moving about. You know there's a squirrel. You continue to approach.
Yes.
What happens then?
The squirrel's doing its thing and
continues to rummage.
Going through my diary. My
Helping
phone.
itself to strawberry cream.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why people are so fussy.
The cameraman said, "Don't touch it because you might get bitten," and he said, "We'll call the RSPCA, they'll know what to do."
Had you tried shaking? Had you tried tipping it upside down?
No, because all
I've
the
seen
stuff's
women do
in
that to get things out.
No, not if you've got earrings in the bag as well, in the middle of a field in Devon. You're not going to do that.
That's a great image of the squirrel wearing the earrings and reading the diary.
Eating chocolate.
She's got a busy December. No wonder she's got a 4 days.
So they rang the RSPCA. Greg came up to a cliff top in Devon.
It did take a while.
And the squirrel was still in your bag.
Yeah.
How did he get it out? How did he get the squirrel?
As it happened, I think the squirrel had probably had enough by then, so he didn't even have to do very much.
Oh, the squirrel came out of his own accord?
Indeed. Yes, he approached the bag.
All right, David, what about the others?
OK, Rob, a fence holding on contest that got out of hand.
Yes.
You said all night, Rob, was that right? It
I like
went on
that
all
one.
night, the fence holding...
Correct.
Yeah, that one
Are you
seems
standing on the
believable,
fence
too.
and hold it? Are you
No, we're standing next to a
ground?
fence. We're standing next to a wooden picket fence, touching it.
And
where were you?
We were in Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
One of you said, I'm not saying it's boring here in Massachusetts, but who fancies holding onto that fence all night?
Fair. There had just been a documentary that was sweeping the nation called Hands on a Hard Body, and it was about these people who could win a Toyota pickup truck if whoever held on to whoever touched it for the longest. So we had just seen this documentary, and we were very drunk. So we thought, we were like, wouldn't it be funny if we did this? And then we did it for 9 hours.
And who is Greg? I mean, how was he there?
Greg is the older brother. You can see he's quite a bit older than me. He's the older brother of my friend that I went to college with.
Did you learn a lot about Greg?
More than I'd care to know.
Could we have 5 Greg facts?
Opened his own bakery.
Let's see.
Who won?
We agreed at 5 o'clock in the morning that we were both winners, and that as 5 a.m. approached,
So you started this at what time?
He never gave
About
facts,
8
or they cut
p.m.
it
You
off.
started that at 8 p.m. That seems very early to start a fence-holding game.
Yeah, it's quite early to go that strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you started drinking?
4 or so in the afternoon.
All right, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, maybe.
Okay, now what about Lee?
OK, Lee.
Just remind us of what it was that you said.
This is Greg, and I was so nervous about my first TV appearance that I made him come along with me and pretend we were a double act.
What was your first TV appearance?
It was on a programme called Pump Television.
What's that?
It was a sort of magazine sort of type show. It was a bit funky and happening. It was like the One Show, but for people that are allowed out in the day.
And what were you doing on the show?
Just being interviewed. It was Reading Television, and I just won a competition for new comedians up in Edinburgh.
What year was this?
1995.
But you didn't win in Edinburgh till 1997.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I've completely messed up the story. I went on the show, Pump TV, to tell them that I could predict the future.
How does he know what year? Oh my
You
gosh.
said to us that you were a double act.
so it
What
must be a
sort
thing.
of a double act?
So I rang up and said, oh, sorry, I'm actually, I do a bit of double act work as well. Can I bring my double act partner on as well? And they said, yeah, fine, what does your double act partner do? And without thinking, I said, he's a juggler.
What happened when you got there? Did he have to get there and juggle?
Well, this is the thing. There's another twist to this story, because obviously...
Is the other twist to this story there is a complete lie?
No, that... I don't think that'd be a twist. So he comes on the show, and I tell him fairly last minute, I think with maybe an hour or two's notice, oh, by the way, I may have told them that you were a juggler. So now he's panicking, isn't he? So what does he do? Because he thinks he's going to be asked to juggle on the show, and he can't juggle.
Yeah.
So he bandaged his arm up. So thus he wasn't. If they said, "Can you juggle?" he can say, "I can't. I've hurt my arm."
So all the way there in the car, you're not talking about why you're driving all those
We
ways.
didn't drive together. I couldn't. He'd injured his arm juggling. No, that's not right. That's not right, is he? No, I'm starting to think. No, I met him at the studio because he actually is from Reading. That's handy, isn't it? That was good.
Was there any other guests on the TV show?
I can't remember. I think there was a person who had a dog, and the dog did something.
Yeah.
There was a bit of... It's a magazine.
Or maybe he actually didn't have a dog, but he just persuaded the dog to come on because he was nervous.
All right, we need an answer. So, David's team.
All right. You're going with...
I'm going fence.
Delaney with a fence.
Fence.
Rob Delaney. I'm actually going to go with Lee Mack. I feel fairly confident because I feel like he was purposely throwing lies in there.
And he could have, absolutely.
And I feel like he was purposely trying a little too hard to act like he was making up. Now, he does that all the time, but I feel like this time he had just a little more confidence about it.
Okay.
So I think that's the one.
If it's the squirrel, I'm going to be like, really? Because I would have done the same thing. I would have just pushed the bag.
Yeah, I could believe it until the
Hit it
point
with
where
a
it was
stick.
just in there forever, unless you said it fell asleep or something. And then right when he gets up there, it leaves. Like, that's the part
No.
that...
Hit it with the stick, do something.
Is Greg Claire's squirrel savior,
Not the
Rob's
squirrel,
fence
the purse.
feeler, or Lee's pretend partner?
It's a pretty unappetizing menu, isn't it?
I don't believe Claire.
Poor
Boulder.
Craig.
I don't believe that she would be scared. Somebody who hosts country fire.
If there was a sound man there with a boom, you could have used that furry boom to entice, like, maybe you could have pretended it was a badger.
So if you were a lady and you saw your handbag moving, you wouldn't immediately think squirrel in there, would you? You'd think, oh God, it's gone off again.
Nice.
What about Rob's story?
There was a lot of detail with Rob's fence holding story.
I like Rob's. It could very well be true, but...
I think so. Greg's hands were made for holding on to fences.
So you think Rob,
Yeah.
who do you think?
I think because Lee so rarely sounds plausible, I think it'd be nice to give him a little go.
I think that when Lee went on Pump TV in 1995 with an average viewing figure of 14, he was too nervous to go on his own.
I do.
Yeah, I think Rob.
You're going to say Rob Delaney.
That's
okay.
what we're going for.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Same.
Greg, would you please reveal your true identity?
My name is Greg, and I pretended to be in a double act with Lee.
Let's go.
Good job. He's like, I was right. I love it.
How did they find him?
I don't know.
It is Lee's pretend partner. Now, you have a picture of Lee and Greg on
Oh,
TV
let's
together.
see it.
There they are.
Oh my gosh, his hand is bandaged.
Look, I can see Greg in the
Taking
picture.
it 9 series together.
Who's the really skinny fella?
Who's the 70-year-old man who's done it?
Tell you what, David, coming from you, that is rich.
It was
It is true, I
Greg.
was very thin. I was 9 stone, though. I was a skinny lad.
Blimey.
Good Lord. But we've made great advances in medicine, and he's here with us today. Thanks very much, Greg.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
You know, I don't want to get too confident. Got a few right so far.
But
I felt really confident, like I said, about that one. Just like the way he was going about it. Like when we played it ourselves in our living room with Gabe and with Chris, there's times where you're trying to make it seem like it's a lie. And you do too good of a job when it's just true.
I had to look up how much a stone was because he's like, I weigh 9 stone. I know people talk about stones all the time, but no, he was
126
not.
pounds. I mean,
That's crazy.
he looks pretty skinny.
He did.
I would say maybe 140, but still.
I was just seeing how much stones I was.
Oh, I already know. What am I like? Yeah, 14 stones.
7.
It's out in the world there. Half. Whatever. I'm just feeling pretty good with my my 14 stone self.
I love that. And
Usually-
I'm feeling so good for you, Nick, for all your wins.
Yeah, usually I'm around that. I was 16 stones a few years ago, so I'm happy about that.
Look at you.
And not that it matters, but when I edit the videos, I can tell different weeks because my weight kind of fluctuates between 5 pounds all the time. So I can tell like when it's 5 pounds
Really?
under that, yeah, absolutely. Right now, it's the end of the school year. We had Teacher Appreciation Week. A lot of goodies, a lot of food. And I'm not going to say no to that because it's a week long. So it's like, gimme.
I was so good. I said no to Krispy Kreme donuts twice this week.
Oof,
I know.
that is good. I turned down...
Proud of myself.
I did turn down one donut, I'm not going to lie. But there was a lot... There's been sodas in our fridge at work, which never happens. The cans, never, ever. There was some in there. So I try to be good by drinking half of the Pepsi. And yes, I chose a Pepsi over Coke. I don't care. They're both very similar to me.
They're the same.
I'm not going to say
they're not the same.
No, I'm not saying they're the same. But anyways,
No.
we hope you enjoyed our reaction to this. Once again, a champion. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time.
Goodbye.